It's countdown right here.
I gotcha.
So it's got some of a delay. So Henry, yeah.
So who's that?
That's my producer. He's the owner of the station up in Denver. I like the shares, guys. That's popping really well. So when you get back to the gym, you can tell whomever that all I have to do is go to KUHSdenver.com, and the shows are archived.
Mm-hmm.
They're also archived from my site on YouTube. So they can, and I send you the audio recording.
Okay.
You'll have it, so you can have whoever you might know that's a technical person. They can cut it up and use it as sound bites and whatever you want.
Okay.
Because I'm sure you're both going to say something just amazing that we're going to need for sound bites.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully it's right. So right now we are live. So once Henry turns it on, he's got to push publish on his end, and we'll get. I'm going to ask him if he's published, because if we are, I want to make sure I'm looking at the camera. Well, we were looking at that thing, not at ourselves.
Oh yeah.
That's the key. How's your brother doing?
He's doing good. I'm actually going there this weekend.
Yeah. He's healthy. I see that. That's a good thing.
He's healthy.
Wow. So
they trying to.
Those old guys.
That longevity, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you've got that bloodline over the ocean. That Nigerian thing going on. You can just rock that all day long and say,
keep going.
Yeah. Okay. Come on, Henry. Tell me what we're doing here. It's really crazy what you can do now, guys, with this. Henry has a 7 Plus iPhone, and he's got an app that this Ustream creates that he can control the camera, so he can make it move. So if I don't have it on my phone yet, so I'd have to go over and pick that up and then move it around and do stuff. So if you went outside, for example, you could plug that camera into your phone and carry it with you on a stick or whatever, and take pictures and stuff. And, it makes your ability to video capture the training of someone really easy.
Yeah.
And not you don't have to be extremely talented technically to get it done. Okay, we're live. All right, so Ustream fans, my international fans, this is 360 Performance Talk. We're here in Houston, Texas. As I said to you during our promos this week, we're trying to bring some light, literally some light. Like this morning, I took the sunrise, picture of the sunrise here in Texas, to say it's about time, right? Dry things out, get people back into a place where they feel good about themselves and smiling. And I couldn't think of any better people to have around me to make me smile than Michael Arakpo and Donnell Alexander, both of which have been the recipients of my knowledge, my experience, my vast understanding of life. You can laugh anytime you want, because it's a relative truth whether or not it's that for them. But I know that for me, these two young men are the best of what was represented in Texas because of what they do in their community, what they do for their families, in making sure that. And Henry, I love you out there, but the pinging on my computer is telling me and distracting me. So I apologize to my viewers. I'm going to try to stay focused on you and make sure that we do the right thing. So what I was saying is that these two guys are the examples of what's best in Texas, and there's many more of them out there because I've seen them this entire week in Texas, bringing their families together, cleaning up their homes, cleaning up their communities to get through this. And today's topic is resiliency on water, literally on water. I'm sure many of you have seen the pictures of the people in boats picking people up in their neighborhoods, picking people up all over the suburban area of Houston, and helping them survive. And that is a resilient act because that happened quickly, because of their desire to be part of the community. And both Michael and Donnell did that as well. But both these young men had in their past a lot of challenges. Yeah. I mean, both have been physically challenged with the football. I mean, injury. It's a violent sport, so both of them have done that. Regretfully, Mike had to kind of give up that dream of NFL football with an injury, but is training others now. You're working with others around the country in your practice called Grinders. Donnell was helping out the program as well with Mike, but also still kind of hanging on to that dream, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Let's see if we can help you get that done, right? All right, and I think it starts with a passion and desire for being your best. So I'm going to ask you a question. We've got 4 segments we work on. The first one is the mindset. So when you guys went out there into the community, what was the mindset you saw? Donnell, when you walked in the community or floated in the community, whatever it took to go out there and see those people, what did you see? What kind of mindset did you see?
I mean, really, for me, like it really wasn't a thought process for me. It was just like I just felt like it was something that had to be done.
Just do?
Yeah, it was just something that because I never had dealt with nothing like that in my life, just seeing it like the news, you wouldn't really truly believe what you see until you go out there and you see that water. So like when I did go out there and I actually seen that, it was just after I physically seen it, the only thing that came to my mind was that they had to be helped. I had to do my part.
So how did your family start? I mean, you had your mom's down here now, you live here. Did the floodwaters get to you?
For me, it just basically got, by the grace of God, like it literally was right at our door, and I'm like, okay, I'm preparing everybody because my mother had some people that worked with her there, and I had some friends there, and so I'm telling them, like, try to basically get everything planned out just in case we did have to hurry and get out.
Well, and planning is a big thing. We're hearing that about the hurricane down in Florida with Irma. And it's, people have to plan. It's coming slow, but it's coming. Category 4, a little bit bigger than what Harvey was, but nonetheless, it's still a bad situation. I also must mention, because you said for her friends, your mom's friends at work and all this kind of stuff, we're here at the JW Marriott, great place. We're on the 22nd floor. We've got the building landscape behind us on the screen. But the working people here, they wanted to come to work. I've talked to some people that says, I'm tired of sitting in my house. I'm surrounded by water, and I want to get out of here. And work seemed to be a respite for a lot of people. And I tell you what, at the JW, these folks, you may have experienced it too with businesses around your area. They are just, how can I help? What can I do for you? How are we going to get you feeling better, whatever the case may be? So, Michael, let's switch to you about what you saw then in the mindset of people when you were out there in the neighborhoods.
Yeah, so it kind of started when the water started coming in.
Yeah.
A friend of mine named Brad Miller, and we reached out. We talk all the time, but he has a boat. So he's from Sealy, Texas. So he knew that he wanted to come into the city. So he said, hey, let's go. So we both agreed that we're gonna go out there into the city, and he hooked his boat up to his trailer in the back of his truck, and he drove that thing down. You know what I'm saying? And then we just started blasting out on our social medias of addresses where we're gonna help these people, and then I didn't know how big and serious. When you're out there, just like Donnell said, when you're out there and you seeing this stuff, it's just like, wow, it's really people stuck in these areas. So we just started going to addresses and trying to help people.
I'm gonna keep saying it, whether it embarrasses you or not. That's the right thing. You said, I had to do it. It wasn't like thinking about it. It wasn't a mindset. Just go do it.
Right.
All right. So let me then equate what you just said to, you played on the O side of the ball. You played on the D side of the ball. So you relied on a lineman to open up a gap for you to get to the quarterback.
Absolutely.
Okay. So
Absolutely.
that's you have a mindset about did they help me?
Yeah.
Is he helping me?
Yeah.
How is that different, that mindset different than what you heard and saw after you did the social media broadcast and say, we're here, and all of a sudden it explodes and you're like going everywhere with the boat. How is that different?
You know, it's not much different because it's just like still you're relying, just like as a defender, I'm relying on people in front to do their job, to be in the right gap, to help me out, you know, to be able to make plays and stuff. So it's kind of like, it's crazy because that was the same way how we was, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. We were helping them get out of their house, helping them like give back to the community. Because at the end of the day, you know, I'm a Houston native, so it's just like, this is like my way of like giving back to the city as well. You know what I'm saying? Serving the city of Houston.
So you were kind of making a hole for somebody else, weren't you?
Yeah.
Breaking through.
For once, huh?
Yeah. Breaking through.
Yeah.
Well, then switching gears then to the offensive side of the ball, you got these big guys in front of you.
Yeah.
How is what you experience different, the same than what you experience as a running back?
I mean, like for me, how I look at it, everybody plays a key role in everything on the field.
Yeah.
And even just through your everyday life, you know. So for me, you know, I just felt like everybody has a job to do. Whether some people was on the helping side of it or some people needed the help, but we all had a job to do.
Yeah.
And everybody that stepped out there to help those individuals, and also, you know, by, you know, providing them with some type of necessities that they need, you know. So for me, it was just basically like everybody, we all just did our part. And, you know, like on offense especially, it's more control. You know, if this guy doesn't do this, this can ruin the whole play. So, like for example, if there was not individuals who had boats and trucks and provided that, then we would not be able to help them.
So for both of you then, you see this stuff going on, whether it's on the football field or in the streets with the water and all the stuff that's going on. Was there a ripple effect? And I mean that literally, not just from the metaphor of the water. Was there a ripple effect that your actions caused others to take action? Like your buddy and his boat and truck caused others to take action? Did you see that kind of progression of your effort?
Oh, of course. And that's why, I mean, I'm big on people, whether people want to believe it or not, the power of social media is crazy. I mean, we was talking about it, you know, before, you know, we started on air.
Yeah.
I mean, J.J. Watt his goal was to hit 200,000.
Yeah.
I mean, he's now at 20 million.
Yeah.
I mean, give it a couple years ago, a guy like J.J. Watt, I mean, he would probably be struggling to hit that $200,000 goal because, I mean, he wouldn't be able to get the publicity that he's getting right now.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's getting donations from every part of the world now for this one cause. So it's just like everybody in Houston kind of came together as one. You need the people on social media giving the addresses. You needed the people retweeting and sharing, tagging people. You know, it's all come of one, and it kind of started with that bond. You know, through that.
Well, and the pictures I've seen, and you guys are right there in the middle of it, making the pictures, is the different parts of humanity that wrap their arms around other parts of humanity.
Right.
Yeah.
It didn't matter what you looked like, what you dressed, where you lived. There were women taking children and calling them their own. There were men picking up women and carrying them through water. I mean, it was an amazing sight. And my interest in not only the show is to bring another light to this and to bring positivity to it, but also to talk about what's it going to do for you. Because now we're in the skill segment. I got mindset at the beginning. Where's my head at? And now how does that mindset impact my skills? So when you're going to leave from here, Donnell, and go do what you do, working with Mike and helping others get stronger and faster and quicker, is your way of preparing, your way of training going to be altered because of this experience? And if so, how?
Well, for me, I think as far as altered, it's more so like, I guess like just now having to go through that and see those types of things it's like, I'm not gonna say open my eyes up to more, but it's just like, it's just like I feel I won't take as much stuff for granted. Yeah. Like every day you get up at this, every day that I'm getting up and going to that gym. You know, it's still some people out there that can't do that.
Yeah.
There's still people that's stuck at their homes. There's still people that have not been found. There's still people that's struggling that don't have nothing. So for me, my approach now is just, just get up and take every day. Give it all you got.
Good.
Just give it all you got, because, I mean, it sounds cliche, but I mean, you never know. You just never know. So for me, it's just like seeing, man, I'm never I still see the image. I'm never gonna forget when me and him standing outside and I seen that man carrying his kid, like on his arm, and then dragging, like, I don't know, he was dragging something, a boat. You remember that?
Yeah, a boat with stuff in it.
He was dragging, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that for me was just like, I didn't have to deal with that. I didn't face that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So that just really opened my eyes up to everything. And then when we got back in the gym, it was like kind of a subject where it's like, okay, you ask everyone how are they and stuff like that, but at the same time, you'll be surprised to hear most of the people was happy to be there. They just wanted
Yeah.
their life to be back normal. So like I said, I just won't take nothing for granted.
Nice.
At all.
Well, and I'm gonna bridge over to Mike and you get your thoughts on it too. Before I do that, I want to talk about a thing I talk to athletes about all the time in building teamwork and camaraderie. It's called push the circle.
Mm-hmm.
You're on a circle, and there's all these people in the circle with you doing whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And if you're more humble enough to want to push the person in front of you before you look to be pushed or look to take care of yourself, it's going to come back to you more. So when you see this in your practice now, when you leave here and go back to your practice, do we have excuses anymore?
No.
I mean, really? We don't have an excuse.
Yeah.
So it's when you have that person come in, I know you both work with weight loss and managing weight and being healthier with the people you work with, we're going to have more empathy, it sounds like.
Yeah.
And yet not back away from pushing them a little harder.
Exactly.
So I'm nice, but I'm pushing you.
Yeah.
I'm kind, but I'm going to push you
Yeah.
if you truly want to be where you want to be. So Michael, when you leave here, what, if anything, is going to be different from you from the experiences you had through Hurricane Harvey?
I think that me personally is going to be the fact that it showed in the times like that. We're in a rough time right now. You have, what they're showing us on the news, on all these news outlets, like there's a big racial divide happening and all the racial tensions and stuff like that. But this really showed everybody that everybody can come together as one and we can get some shit done.
Yeah.
And that's at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It didn't matter what color, where you come from, your background. Whether you was rich, whether you were poor, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, everybody was working together for one cause, and it really brought this city together. So.
Well, and you bring up a really good point related to the word resiliency, because when people come together, the quickness sometimes is not quite there as much as we'd like, Yeah. And what really came out for me, and why I wanted to call this resiliency on water, is because when a mother in a part of Houston that is represented as not very economically strong, she's a renter of a home, that the water was above the windows, and she has a son who's medically challenged, and she takes care of him at home, but now he had to go to the hospital to be taken care of because she wasn't capable of taking care of it. She was only worried about her son and not whether she could pay her rent.
Yeah.
Or even if the landlord was going to ask her for rent.
Yeah.
In that statement, within less than an hour, she was told by the landlord, no rent, and the hospital had already come and picked her kid up and took him into the hospital.
Right.
So I'm going, now that's resiliency.
Yes.
Because on the playing field, that if I mess up, I want to come back quick, right?
Yeah.
Because they're not going to wait. My competitor's not going to wait.
Yeah.
That's the measure of resiliency. How quickly can you come back from failure or error? Mm-hmm. So for me, resiliency on water was a no-brainer for the show. And I want to take a minute in saying that to say, again, thanks to you two guys coming down here and supporting me in my effort to bring out the positive message.
No problem.
But I also want to sincerely make sure people understand, you guys represent the character of everybody in the Houston area. And look at, we know that there's going to be people who've done more.
Right. Yeah,
There's people who have hurt more.
Absolutely.
You know, and there's people who are sitting on their ass.
Yeah.
Right.
And didn't, and just kind of nodded at the TV and said, I can understand, but didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
And there's that whole spectrum. But I think it's important from here, as we move into the next segment, which is on the mental conditioning side of things, and we talk about what do we do?
Right.
What do we do from here? Because as we talked before we went on air, the water's receding, right?
Yeah.
And there's going to be stuff left over that's going to be hard to handle. It's going to be hard to see. I mean, people are already piling stuff up on the curb
Right.
Yeah.
that it's never coming back in the original form. I mean, there's pictures, there's pillows, there's stuffed animals, there's all kinds of things that represent your life, and you can't keep it because the water is bad.
Right.
It's disease filled, and it just can't be. So you're going to try to replace that the best you can.
Yeah.
And then reality's going to set in after all the hard work about maybe we're not going to have everything back. Maybe we're not going to have the floor fixed.
Yeah.
Or the same bed we had before, because it regretfully didn't have the insurance.
Yeah.
You know, so there's going to be other things, and I want to make sure that with the resiliency that people have experienced and the stuff that you've shown other people, is that we continue to the fourth quarter, you know?
Right.
Finish
Yeah.
strong, play all four.
Yes, sir.
If you're ahead of the half, the game isn't over.
Yeah.
You know, what's the phrase we use? It's 0 going into the second half, 0-0, let's play the game again.
Yep.
So I want to make sure that point is a good bridge going into the mental conditioning piece, because people are going to look for ways to get themselves back on track. And as much as I would want to continue talking, I got to take a pause and talk a little bit about the commercial side of things.
Okay.
So I'll start with you, Mike. What's the website people can reach out to you in Grinders and find out how they can get healthy and stronger?
So the website is innergrind.com. That's the name of our facility, and it's innergrind.com. You can catch us on all social medias at innergrind, and then you can catch our website innergrind.com.
Okay, and so inner is INN?
INNER.
Okay, and grind GRIND, and I don't spell it because people can't spell. I spell it because microphones don't always catch everything, and I want to make sure it's right on target.
Yes, sir.
All right, so and I'm going to give you a little background on Michael as an endorsement. Mike and I worked with Mike as an academic advisee for him when he was playing football up at Colorado State University, and we're not going to go into the details, but Mike and I, we got close because of situations that that we find ourselves in. Some were challenging, both emotionally and physically, and now he's doing a great work down here in Houston and helping people get stronger, faster, quicker, healthier, and doing what he can do to do that. So I'm going to shift now to be a little bit more market-oriented for Donnell. Donnell, you're working with Mike at Grinders and helping him there. But at the same time, I want to make sure that we pub what you're going to be doing going forward and what your goals are. Let's start with the Mexican Football League and what you think you're going to do with them.
I mean, obviously, like it was a fresh league. That was the first time they had the American guys over there, as we spoke before about. So for me, it's a lot of stuff that still has to be worked out.
Sure.
But I'm always open to it because I love the game. Like I feel, the best teachers are the people that are physically doing it a lot of times. So and plus there's a lot of people that come in there at the gym every day. They always, why are you not with the team? Why are you not doing it? So it's like, so that's the good part. So at the same time, I feel like I wouldn't be good enough to tell someone. I wouldn't tell somebody that they must keep working hard to chase their dream if I just lose sight of mine still. So.
Well, I like the message, and that you've got a great venue with Mike and the Grinder facility. But I also want to make sure that those who are watching, and some of you are friends of mine in the agent business that I've reached out to, keep your eyes and ears open, both in the Canadian Football League and the NFL. I'm always getting his ear about, are you trying out? Are you asking to try out? But one of the things I've learned about Donnell, as I've learned about a lot of athletes, they don't always advocate for themselves as well as they could. Because they've been coached for so many years. They wait for the coach to help. Well, I do too. I coach still, but I coach from the standpoint of self-awareness and self-advocacy. So as Mike will attest, we're going to keep pushing this young man because he's got the mindset
Yes.
and the body to play the game the way it needs to be played. And you can't ask for any better desire than what's between this kid's ears and what it does to drive his physical skills to hit the gap and make sure he continues. It's always in my mind when I think about it, the 2-point conversion this kid made at the pylon to put the game into overtime. You've got to watch the Colorado State, Washington State, New Mexico Bowl game on YouTube. It has, I think still to this date, it has the highest hits of a bowl game on YouTube because we won the game in the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It was just sick.
And you know what's crazy? The fact that you never believed that you was going to lose.
Exactly.
Like, I can literally say almost probably, if not 100, at least 99% of the people on that sideline still believe, like, it's okay. It's all right. Because you know, like, you practice this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you practice, okay, all right, so we get a stop here. We go get their punt it to us. We go, know how to hurry up, score.
Yeah.
2-point conversion, onside kick, whatever. However it works, you practice these situations. So, I mean, I truly felt like it was just...
Well, I got to tell you a story because I've never told you this. I'm at the same point. I'm on the sideline, and Shaq Barrett's standing next to me. We're in the offensive line. We're in the offense, and we kick the field goal. Or no, I'm sorry. We're gonna have you're gonna score the 2-point conversion, and I'm standing next to Shaq. Now we got that ball because there was a fumble.
Right.
And I'm standing next to Shaq, and I said, Shaq, the coaches are not here. They're wrangling around about officials, and they're grousing about how bad it is. He says, he puts his arm around me and goes, Coach, don't worry about it. We got this.
Yeah.
After you scored, what happened after that? What did Shaq do on the kickoff? He created a fumble, went right into Schlegel's arms.
Right.
And I go, and it was the same thing he had done to create the first fumble.
Yeah.
Actually, he created 3 fumbles. One, he said the quarterback was already down. So, we're digressing a little bit, but it's also about resiliency in getting things done. So, gosh, that was a great memory.
Yeah.
That was a great memory. So, you're out there, think about, Donnell, when you're thinking about who could be a good running back for a professional team that you have some influence on. God, it would be great if you went to Kansas City or even the Texans for that matter. I mean, running backs are, and as much as they whine and moan about having a running back, here's one sitting right next to us.
Exactly.
I mean, my gosh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So we are at the halfway point. We talked a little bit about the business side of things. I'm going to end the business discussion by saying, look, check out 360mindset.com and sign up for a visit with me. And let's talk about resiliency, or let's talk about what you need to do to be better at focusing your attention on optimizing your personal performance so that you truly have that mind-body connection. Check it out, 360mindset.com. And remember, you're listening and watching us on KUHSdenver.com. Technology is awesome. Yeah. I'm so appreciative of that. So we're in the third segment. It's called mental conditioning. And mental conditioning is this. Now, Donnell remembers this, but I didn't have a chance to do it with Michael when he was a player. When receivers and running backs were doing the on-air routes with the quarterbacks, and they would come back and circle back behind the quarterbacks, I would throw them a ping pong ball or a tennis ball. Now, the reason we did that was to mentally condition you for the differences you're going to face in the game. Because the ping pong ball, the wind might blow it, and it's a small target, and it's like the dimple of the nose of the football kind of thing. And then the tennis ball was just a whole different change. Right. So you got used to adapting to those different changes. Now, there's all kinds of exercises you can do, but that's what sets up the mental conditioning part. So, Michael, in your practice, when you're at grinders with somebody, and let's take weight loss, for example. What would be something you would want an individual to mentally condition themselves to do to create a behavior that keeps them on a path of performance that's optimal for them? Is there something you remind them to do, to focus on?
I mean, I start with the basics. You know, the first thing I do is I tell them to visually see where they want to be at the end of their program. And we set short-term goals because it's easier to see where yourself can be in like 60, 90 days versus like, oh, this is where I want to be at the end in 2 years.
So
3 years.
you don't want me to come in as a 300-pound male that's 5'2" and say, in a month I'm going to be 120 pounds.
Absolutely, because you'll be surprised.
You want me to eat the elephant one bite at a time? Is that my goal to attain it?
Yeah. So that's definitely what we do. I have them. So not only do they write the goals down, I make them put the goals on somewhere where they're going to be seeing it every day. Whether it's your computer, your office, your desk, your refrigerator, and then I have them put it on our wall. So when you're training them, I can be reminding them like, this is what you got coming up. This is your goals. Like, let's go whenever there's time for them to like.
So how do you translate those goals, those realistic, time-specific, progressive goals, to the activities you want them to do that are going to help them get those goals? Mm-hmm. You remind them of those things when you're in the sessions?
Yeah.
What are some of the things you do to remind them?
As far as what?
Well, like I've heard his tapes when they're pushing the cars. I heard he's talked to the ladies about about technique and where they should push the car. Yeah. And so that's kind of what I'm getting at. Okay. For example, you've got a drill you're going to have them do. Okay. And obviously you're going to get them to sweat, burn calories, build muscle, that kind of stuff. Do you make comments to them about, hey, you set this goal. Yeah. This is all about you. You're the one who created this.
Oh, of course.
Keep pushing that
Of course. I do that all the time. And that's how I motivate our clients. That's how I motivate them, because when they hear that stuff, they're like, "Oh, let's go." And I get that from football. Yeah. I mean, I get that from football. When you're grinding in the summertime, and your coaches is talking to you about, "All right, let's go." We got such and such week 1, and this is where we want to go. You have that championship on your mind. You're gonna be like, "All right, well, I was tired, but let's go." Like, you're gonna start giving it all you got. So. That's the same way how I motivate them.
Okay, but now remember there were some guys on the team when you were there that I don't really feel like running today. Yeah. I really don't feel like running because running is not my thing. Yeah. And it's like 3:00 in the afternoon. Yeah. What do you do with? Where's your motivation then? What is it? Does it change? Like, for example, maybe there's somebody says, "I can't get in the boat." Yeah. I don't want to get in the boat. Yeah. Well, but sir, ma'am, the water's rising. Yeah. We want this championship. Yeah. The water is rising. What do you do with that? Yeah.
So what do you do with that is because everybody has a reason. Everybody got a reason of why they came, because you wouldn't have showed up and paid your money. So that's another reason.
There you go. Yeah.
You paying your money, so what you doing? Yeah. So you paying good money for this. So you can pay what you gonna do. Yeah. Get some results, because you came in that door for a reason. Yeah. You didn't just come in there to tell me, hey, how you doing this today? So
I can't tell you how many pro players that poor mouth the money thing. Yeah. And then and then when they get it for nothing, I said, or they think they get it for nothing, I said, I'm not giving you it for nothing. Yeah. Because you're not with me then. Yeah. If you don't give me the paper, you're not with me. Yeah. You're just not with me. Well, then they don't understand that. And I give them an example about, hey, when the coach says you need to hit that sled a little harder, do you equate that to money? Do you equate that to a bonus? Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, I get you. Yeah. Now I understand. So shifting gears then, Donnell, you're the player. Right. What gets you through those moments when I don't really want to be doing that? It's not part of... I'm not. Let's say running is the thing. I'm not liking the running thing, even though you're running back. How do you overcome those things?
On stuff like that, that's when you have to be able to dig deep. Like I was at the gym also. We talk about the inner grind, the inner self, the inner strength, and I think at that time, that's when you look yourself. You have to be able to look into yourself, your own soul, and be able to dig something out of there, because. Let's be real. Not everybody's going to want to go out there and run 100 sprints and do it full speed, finish first. Your leader, everybody looking at you, but it's always a bigger picture to everything that's going on. So it's rather, if you want to get to your goal, then for me, personally, I know that I'm going to go do what I got to do. If I got to run through a wall, I'll try.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and here's what's interesting to me. So there's lots of different ages you're dealing with, right? Yeah. There were lots of different ages you experienced through the flow. Right. So there are going to be different attitudes. So you said when you were in college and you were listening to what I had to say to you, you're kind of going, I just want to get through this.
Yeah.
I just want to get through this.
Right.
So it didn't really sink in. And now you're at this place and you go, damn,
Right.
I should have thought about that a little bit more.
Right.
So how do we get that person in the boat? How do we say to them, I need you to understand, it's important for you to listen to me right now and believe in what I'm telling you and get in the boat.
Mm-hmm.
Or take it from on the field, this is going to make you better.
Right.
What do I need to do to convince you this will make you better?
For me personally, I've always been like try to lead by example and stuff. You know, at the same time that doesn't always work because you do meet people
Yeah.
that sometimes they just had an attitude where they don't care. But at the same time,
We've met a few of those, haven't we?
I truly feel like they do, but they had a guard up against something.
Yeah.
So what it is being able to, you had to be able to find something to maybe connect with that.
What it is.
And, once you are able to get past that and connect with somebody and they see the good in you,
Yep.
and you see the good in them, or however it may be, it's easy to make the progress.
Maybe with Hurricane Harvey,
Mhm.
we should put people in big buckets and raise the water and say, if you don't do what I tell you, I'm just going to keep raising the water. Because that's pretty good motivation, right?
And
They're going to get in
no
the
choice. They have no choice.
They're going to get in the boat when the
Yeah.
water is rising. Yeah, so it's a matter of emotionally and mentally, the mental condition.
Right.
Getting serious now, the mental condition is getting them to understand, hey, people, the water's rising.
Right.
Where do you want to stand once we save you? Where do you want to go with this after it's all said and done? So with that being said, then, give me some examples, Mike, that you experienced with your friend in the boat and picking people up, where you didn't even have to question whether they were resilient. They were going to get in the boat.
Mm.
What did you see other than the obvious of the water and the pressure of all that? What did you see in their face? What did you see in the way they moved and behaved?
I mean, yeah, just like you said, when that water get up to a certain point, at that point it's just like, it's do or die.
Yeah,
you know
how
what I'm
fast
saying?
can I get in this boat?
Yeah. So I mean, there was a family, and I told the story, but there was a family that it was a lady who was pregnant and she had some kids, and the lady did not know how to swim,
Ooh.
and obviously the kids didn't, so we couldn't find the house. This is one of the most difficult ones because we had to walk like 1.3 miles like through the water. Like, it was hard to get through, and then even when we got right by it kept on saying that we was in front of it or near it, but we couldn't find where the house was. So we kept on searching. We finally found this lady, and we get into her house. It's a 1-story house, and everything is just like, the water it's like high. It's like,
Oh my gosh.
So it's just like the kids are like propped up to like, they have like these little chairs. They're sitting, they're just like waiting on somebody to come get them. So we get them out, and I mean, the lady literally had one bag of things. She knew that's all she was going to be able to.
Oh, man.
So she just got her one bag, got the kids was crying and everything, so we got them on the boat. And then we took them off to like, to where the waters wasn't, on the other side.
So what did you see the difference between resiliency and strength and fear and desperation in the faces of people?
Yeah.
And is it a matter of then the strength and resiliency as they're coming to you, and the fear and desperation as you're coming to them?
Yeah. I would say.
That's going to stick with you for a while.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah.
It will. Definitely.
So Donnell, how about you? Did you have similar experiences to Mike with regard to people that you met?
Mine was just more so just the families that have been left, because I created like GoFundMe and stuff like that, but it's actually a lot. They kind of put you through a little stuff when you making stuff like that, which is kind of. I mean, I understand why.
Like if you real legit,
yeah,
you're
people
legit.
do it the wrong way. So me, I came out of pocket. I just provided a few people that I knew, just gave them some more, just bought them some new stuff.
Yep.
And a friend of mine, a family who he introduced me to, the kids, they lost everything. But what was the craziest thing to me was like basically how they didn't care. Like I was surprised, because if it was me, I would have probably been in in tears maybe at that point, just knowing that everything's gone. But they really just was like, oh, it's okay. We'll be fine. We'll get new stuff later on. It's okay. Like, and they just didn't care.
Yeah.
So for me, it just showed like, you know, how resilient it was of them to be able to just like, none of that matters. That's material stuff, you know. Even at that young age.
Did it change your picture of what you value too?
Yeah, definitely, big time. Because even like the people that would contact me, like, oh, you need something. I'm like, nah. Other people do though. Like, I'm fine, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Okay, maybe I have some leaks on my house, some stuff I gotta replace right now, but that's simple, you know. Some people lost everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
So for me, it sounds like one of the elements of mental conditioning is making sure that we keep a hold of examples, visions, pictures that you have seen, that you can, when people, you know, Mike, I'm going to keep coming back, and Donnell coming back to professional athletes who are not, they don't have to be concerned about the paycheck.
Yeah.
And they got the money, right? And yet their attitude, the mental condition about life for them is things.
Yeah.
I got the things.
Right.
I got the house, I got the car, I got the clothes, I got this. And yet when we hear about the little kid who's just thrilled to death to have a truck or a sandwich and as happy as can be, you kind of have to say to yourself, well, if I ever hear somebody grossing about the fact that their Maserati doesn't run right, I'm gonna have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Or that they didn't get valeted properly or fast enough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a problem with that. And I think for me, the mental conditioning that is associated with the courage, that's one of the messages. When you've had these experiences, have the courage to remind people of what you've gone through, so that they can maybe they can humble themselves enough that if we have another situation, they might step up and realize what's going on. So mental conditioning is where you give exercises to people that remind them of the visions. For example, Donnell, when you were with CSU and playing, I would do things like, you remember Higgins when he came in Hollywood?
Right.
When he came in? One of the things we had with him was his first season was he didn't run as fast as he should once he completed a route during practice.
Exactly.
And coming back, he just kind of like, you know, I'm good. And he's since changed that quickly and did the things that he did. But in his locker, I would put things in his locker that he agreed with about symbols that reminded him of his mental condition to be resilient, to be strong. I did the same thing with Garrett and others. I don't know if I got a hold of you or not. I don't think I did. You were just such hard-headed. You were just so hard-headed.
I was.
Yeah, I know that. See, I didn't give up on you, did I?
No,
I'm there for you. Yeah. So, Michael, on the other hand, just a pumpkin. He was just soft and just, you could do, you know. Not true, people. But my point is this, is that you've got to have those markers, those road signs to make yourself mentally conditioned so that when you see it, you respond. Now it's, you know, I use things a bit more, they're not sophisticated. Numbers on a jersey, colors, marks, positions, leverage points, that kind of thing for athletes to know about, okay, I've got to work fast when I see this, or I've got to calm myself down when I see this. I'm sure you do it all the time with your motivation with your clients. So as we talk about that, we're coming into the last segment, which is some of the fun for a lot of people, is the performance results. What do you expect? After you process it through, and you go through all those steps, like you were saying, Mike, about the little chunks, the pieces that I go through to get to that end, what are the performance results that I'm looking for during this process? So when I add them all up, I lose the 200 pounds to get 120 in 30 days. Or I'm able to go from a 5-pound bench press to a 500-pound bench press in 60 days. You know, it's possible. I can probably get there. So we're going to talk about performance results. But before we do that, we're gonna do a little bit more commercial stuff. But it's all related to process and helping you get results. Donnell, did you ever try the Time to Focus, the app that I did? On the phone?
I think it was
the iPad.
I think I just was leaving.
Yeah. Okay. So I developed an app called. Oh, you did the paper sheets.
Yeah.
Circle of numbers.
Right.
So I took that example and I put it into an app. It's called Time to Focus. It's on iTunes. It's free, but it helps people get their brain clicking. So when you want to have somebody, especially people that are tough, that you're wondering, Are they going to come prepared today? Are they going to come mentally ready to work? Well, this is a way to do that, to get your brain firing and think about how I'm getting myself mentally prepared to make my body do physically challenging things. So it's called Time to Focus. Go out and get it. It's free. It's on iTunes. I'm hoping in the next few weeks, well, maybe more like months, we'll have the Android version of that ready as well. But it's good for your iPad, your iPhone, and your iWatch. And I didn't even notice that I looked up. I'm pubbing Apple on my computer.
Oh, you are.
maybe they're watching.
Yeah.
Whoa! I can that would be awesome. So Apple is my friend and will help me. So I'll tell everything I can about Apple being positive. Okay, so we're in the last segment, and as I say that, remind people, Mike, of your website again, Innergrind.
Innergrind.com.
Okay, and at Innergrind on Twitter.
At Innergrind.
Okay, Innergrind on Twitter. May challenge you, people. Get when you see him on the social media, ask him a question. Tell him you're watching. Ask him questions like, "Why is she running like that?"
Yeah.
Mike, I don't understand. And force him to be legit because he's looking for that.
Yeah.
And maybe if Mike will give up the camera, you'll see Donnell on camera too. Don't count on it, but
I think I'm a little camera shy.
You camera shy. You don't even want to get camera.
I don't never get on there.
Okay, all right. I'm trying. I'm pubbing it for you. Get you framed up.
Yeah.
All right. So we're in the performance results in the last 15 minutes of the show. We're on KUHSdenver.com. Is where you find us every Friday at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. We're down here in Houston, Texas, and I want to make sure I again thank the JW Marriott for being here. I'm also going to thank my lovely wife for supporting me in what we do here and making me her companion, so we could be down in Houston doing the things we're doing. And Sandos, thank you very much for helping us out with your support here at the JW, down there at the front desk, and all the people here that have come to make the stay wonderful in a challenging time. You wouldn't know it down here at the JW, but it's challenging. I've been out in the neighborhoods talking to people, and as evidence with these two guys that represent the best of Texas, we know there's people out there struggling still. So try to give people a smile. Send a picture or a friendly note to at Red Cross Houston on Twitter and give a smile to get a smile. Hope you'll do that and hashtag it so I can follow your wonderful pictures. You'll see my pictures out there at Red Cross Houston as well. So the performance, the results. So Mike, what was one of the examples of the best result you saw that made a smile for you when you were out there in the water?
The best result.
Yeah, they gave you that. You said, "Man, look, it's awesome."
Yeah. I mean, the best result is just when people was just getting off with their stuff and getting into dry land. That's the best result. From the high waters and then going down into And I think another result was when I saw at the when they opened up to some of the shelters and the trucks loads of people coming back like Lakewood. I live right behind Lakewood, and they opened up Lakewood. I mean, and you just saw 18-wheeler at the food truck at the truck
That's
and the
nice.
truck, and people just giving back.
So you actually saw evidence of the humanity and the community support, and I mean, it's one thing to watch it on TV and kind of go, is that real?
Yeah.
Or is that just framed up? You know?
Yeah.
And you're talking, it's real.
It's real.
It's real stuff.
It's real.
Well, excellent. Well, Donnell, what about you? Were there any memories, visions that represented, hey, that's real, that's legit. The results are there.
I mean, for me was just, it's so many people that got displaced, but speaking to a lot of them, you'll never know. Like, you just never know how greatly it was impacted by the flood. So for me, I think the best thing I got from that was not because anybody can find something that's like negative that occurred in their life, and you'll just dull on it. You'll let it keep pushing you down and get you in a bad mood. But just seeing all the positivity that came from the negative, for me was the best thing for me.
Well, I tell you what, the The negative is pure. I mean, nature's pure. It is what it is. There is no halfway or kind of, sort of. It is what it is. So I'm thinking that when we're faced with those kind of pure things, like you know when somebody hits you and it's solid, it's real. You know, exactly. Or when you get that good tackle, you know when it's real. And that's pure stuff. With nature, there is no question mark about it. It is what it is. And to hear you say that about the results were genuine. I mean, it was an equal response to that purity of what nature hammered him with. And for me, that's in ending the show today and in this performance results thing, I want to make sure that we make the transition for people that when you're challenged with life issues, in particular the purity of this life issue, that you move it forward for yourself and use it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't forget it. Wrap your brain around it. Right. I mean, I remember when we played Alabama, when CSU played Alabama, the year after you left, Donnell, Shaq Barrett again, and we were the 4 huge monitors in each of the corners of the stadium. When you're warming up, I mean, the crowd was like a full stadium almost, and they're hammering on you, and everybody's looking, oh my God, we're at Alabama. Right. We're at Alabama. I said, Shaq, we got to make this our own. Yeah. We got to wrap our brain around this, like wrapping your brain around. Well, Harvey hit us, it smacked us. You know, what we're going to do with this. Yeah. So transitioning those emotions, those feelings of toughness, mental toughness, and resiliency, take it forward with you. Take it forward and make it your best. So, Mike, what are you going to take forward for you to improve your performance and make you learn and build on that resiliency that you experienced and practiced to make you more mentally tough?
You know, what I'm going to take forward is the fact that, you know, everybody's going to go through different things. You know, I think it's going to help me because I'm somebody, I'm tough on my clients. You know, they always tell me how, you know, like, but it's taking me kind of understanding sometimes that, like, you know, this is real life. You know what I'm saying? Some people, I mean, kids and, you know, when people leave the gym, I mean, they are going back home to their families. So it's us as trainers, us as sports performance coaches, it's helping us get involved with the people who we see every day. Yeah. Just like Donnell, when it was a Donnell, we had a client that me and him trained. We trained 2 brothers and the dad, and he reached out, and you know they kind of got, you know, shaken up by the hurricane, and he reached out, and that alone was just like, man, like I really appreciate the fact that you actually cared about, you know, because most people wouldn't have done that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that you know, that's going to help us moving forward, getting to know kind of our people, getting to know where they come from in their background. Yeah.
Well, it sounds, you know, we gather data all the time. Right? Yeah. People sign up, you know, sign up for certain reasons, and maybe it sounds like you're going to perhaps add some things on that sign up and say, hey, what are your hobbies, or what do you like to do outside of here? You know, so that you can really get deeper and more understanding. So Donnell, tell me about that father and his 2 sons.
Oh man, that's a great family. It's a kid I train named Gavin. I'm just speaking with them. It's just, you know, like he sends me a lot of messages actually. He always talks about how his son kind of look up to me like as his role model and stuff like that. And I mean, in my mind, I'm no role model. I'm just, you know, a regular person. But you know, it's just like some of the stuff he sent me, it kind of shake me up a little bit, because it's just like, man, you don't know what impact you have on people. You know, you really don't. And I mean, for me, that's not work. Like, what I do is not work. I don't get up and be like, it's work. You know, I get up and I'm happy to go train. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause it's fun. I enjoy it. I love giving back. I love helping people. You know. Yeah. And not even that, you just get to be around people. I always was like a kind of like quiet, standoffish person. So this also is helping me come out of, you know, that shell to be more, you know, open to speaking to people, because you have to be able to communicate with your clients. You have to be able to communicate with potential clients. And just, you never know who you meet. So for me, it's just, I mean, for me, I'm taking away a lot of it, just the whole experience.
He's going to be a chatterbox now. He's going to be talking off the chain. It's opened him up.
Yeah.
Can we handle this? Is it something we're going to be able to handle?
Yeah, we want to shut him up sometimes.
No, that's good, kid. I like that. That's good, because I know that from the past, that's something that was a part of wanting to get to know you better
Right.
was hard because of the lack of the desire to really get out and communicate.
Yeah, definitely.
But and I hope Charles Love is listening because Chuck is the same way.
Yeah.
You know, he's down there in Gatorland in
Yeah.
Florida.
Chuck the same. Chuck
Oh.
got to break that box.
Oh,
Chuck
No,
cool.
no, you'd be surprised once you.
Oh yeah.
Once you Chuck a big old titty bear, man.
But you're gonna act like you're his grandma
Yeah.
to get him to open up.
Yeah.
Like, come on,
Yeah.
here, you need a cookie? You need a cookie? You start to open up a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about it. I was thinking about him this morning because of the hurricane and stuff.
Oh, yeah,
You know, because
right.
Gainesville, he's down there with
Yeah.
the coaches and stuff, and they're gonna. He's loving what he's doing. But
Guy with
you-
Coach Kent. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was thinking about that because he always had that quote, negative energy fuels a positive fire.
Yeah.
And I actually got that tatted on me, but that kind of correlates to
Yeah.
everything that's going on because it's so much negative energy around, not just here, just the world.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we did get positivity from
Yeah.
everything that occurred. So.
Yep. So that's Chuck is what I've been thinking about. Coach Kent, the guys down there, Rashad, and the families that are affected down in Florida, and my daughter, and if Molly's listening and watching, I hope you're doing fine, girl, and everything's gonna be fine for you. Writing it out, hopefully writing it out in your apartment, not
Literally.
on, not on the wave of water that might be there. We're getting close to the end. I want to make sure I say thank you to all that have participated in what we've done today, and Henry and your help with me technically. You're listening to 360 Mindset Performance Talk. We broadcast on KUHSdenver.com. I've got some great guys that I've loved being around and loved helping do the things that help them be better and make them great. Donnell Alexander, who's down here with the Inner Grind, the proprietor and creator of that is Mike Arakpo. Both are healthy and dry down here in Houston, Texas. Got to thank the JW again, the JW Marriott and all they've done to support my broadcasting from the lounge here on the 22nd floor. He's not called, the terms they use nowadays are not like manager and boss or they use different terms like, what did he say his title is? Oh, here. Sandoz's title is, this is a great title, Rooms Operation Voyager. Until I got to know him, I didn't know what that meant. Yeah, what does that mean, right?
I don't know.
But he got things done.
Yeah.
That's all I care.
It's all that matters.
But that Voyager, I guess he walks around a lot.
Probably.
And works with the rooms. Yeah. Maybe he dances a little bit. He's a Voyager.
Some sauce.
Oh, we're in Houston. Regretfully, though, he's from New Jersey.
Oh.
So, but
Yeah.
anyway, thanks to Sandoz and helping us out here. And the ABC 13 had a blood drive. I gave blood. I want to say the Gulf Coast Blood Bank and what they did, they manned up and brought out 2 huge vans to draw blood for the needs that they have here in the Houston area. And I thought that was a better way than trying to find canned food and giving up money. But getting out there and doing it. So do whatever you can to support the program of Give a Smile, Get a Smile. Hashtag that, send it out to @RedCrossHouston. Those are pretty much all the plugs I have for today. I'm going to leave it with Mike, you first. What do you want to end with? What do you want to say to people going forward from here and to think about and reflect on?
Man, I just want to appreciate everybody on the support. The city of Houston has received tremendous support just by the whole country, everywhere. So I just really want to we all appreciate everybody's thoughts, prayers, and their efforts into, helping us here rebuild. I will say that a lot of people, kind of forget, the city of Port Arthur, Beaumont, Texas, those smaller cities, Orange, they got hit as well. They got hit pretty hard. So, do focus again. Houston is it's a big city, but we have some surrounding areas who was hit pretty hard. So, just continue to look out for us, and then we appreciate you all your support.
Oh, good words.
Yeah.
So Donnell, what do you think? What are the thoughts you want to share with people going forward?
For me, I appreciate everybody that's reached out. Also, the people that has took the initiative to try to help in other places, knowing that I'm here, family members are here, friends are here, and also I received I have to give a thanks to the the people in Mexico, because I mean I received numerous calls, and some people they really didn't. I don't even think they really knew what they were saying, because they probably put in a translator. But it was I really appreciate it. It's just glad to know people care.
The Raptors, right?
Yeah, everybody did.
Yeah.
Condors, Raptors.
Yeah, Condors, Rap. Yeah. The GM down there for the Condors, he's been reaching out to me, and he didn't know that I was down here until I told him. And so he's all excited about trying to help and support.
Right.
I'm gonna make some challenges out there to some other Texans that you guys both know. Weston Richburg, guys. I put a challenge out to match contributions that your friends might have given to the Red Cross, or maybe you've already communicated with JJ Watts and the food drive. But do what you can when you can. I know you're getting ready for this weekend. For those who aren't going to be impacted by the water, he's sitting. He says he's lifting. I don't believe it. It's Crockett Gilmore. He got injured, got a knee injury, so he's out there. He's watching TV in 360. Doing the Xbox or something.
Yeah.
I'm challenging you with my words, son. Get out there and do something. Your mom and dad are in Dallas. Your brothers. Austin's out here coaching football along with guys that we know. So do what you can, support how you can, give a smile, get a smile, that kind of thing, whatever you can. So I'm challenging you two guys. Garrett, you're in New Orleans. You're not getting probably as much rain, but you probably had a little bit of rain over there. Do some support as well with that. Hollywood, you're up there in Cleveland. It's supposed to be a big shot up there. I think you're on the practice squad. Do what you can. Support the causes down here. You've got family in Texas as well. DeAndre, you're chilling, doing therapy, all that kind of stuff. I know you're helping your mom out and family and what have you.
Get well.
Yeah, exactly. Get well. Absolutely get well. You got it all going on. As I said, you're one of the toughest minds I know for getting yourself back on track. So do what you can. Once again, this is 360 Mindset Performance Talk. We're broadcasting to you on KUHSdenver.com. Thanks again to Donnell Alexander, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Good to have you here. Michael,
Thank you, man.
it's an awesome time. We are done for today. So Henry, we're signing off. We're done with the broadcast for today.